I feel so old as we're about to talk some Baseball Hall of Fame, and I literally remember almost all these guys like crap, their career's over. But Aaron, if you run a podcast or a small business, it can be hard spreading the word. You got friends that want to check it out, but will they?
You hope so, but sources probably say no.
Right. Well, sources are correct for you. It's time to grow with Popl. Popl. No more begging for views and no more, hey, check this out when you get a chance, pal. Popl is an easy-to-use but high-tech digital business card. Get your Popl using the code AMDRIVE for 20% off. Set up your links and share. People you share with don't even need Popl. Again, when you buy your Popl in keychain, credit card, or even pop socket form, use the code AMDRIVE in all caps for 20% off on popl.co. Okay, let's get straight into the Hall of Fame talk here, because there are several players that are making their debuts on this ballot. You got my guy, Jonathan Papelbon. You've got Big Papi, Steroid Aroid, Alex Rodriguez. You've got, I love this guy, by the way, Tim Lincecum, Giants legend, and really postseason legend. Mark Teixeira. Do you think any of these guys get in? Because I think a couple of them could.
So I'm looking at the rookies, so to speak, on this Hall of Fame ballot, and if you to answer your question as candidly as possible, do any of these guys get in? The answer is it depends.
Oh,
because to me, the only two guys that are locks for this are connected or have admitted to using performance-enhancing drugs. A-Rod did it. A-Rod came out and said that he did it, especially during some of his biggest seasons with Texas, 2001 to 2003. Now, do we believe that's the only years he did it? I don't know about that. But 696 career home runs, which is good for the fourth all-time, should get him in if the committee doesn't care. But if the committee doesn't care, then we have opened up a whole nother big bag of worms, because we'll talk about that in the next topic here. The other one for me is David Ortiz. Now, I understand he was primarily a designated hitter, and I've always been a big advocate of Edgar Martinez. Shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame for that reason as well. However, to me, the difference between Edgar Martinez and David Ortiz is that there are some moments in Boston Red Sox playoff history that don't exist without David Ortiz. The bloop single to send the Red Sox into Game 5 against the Yankees. The fact that they won the 2013 World Series because David Ortiz hit 700 in the World Series. But he has been linked to performance-enhancing drugs. He allegedly failed a drug test in 2003, but there were no penalties for PEDs back in 2003. So those are my two locks. So the answer really is it depends on what the writers say. Others here, Mark Teixeira, I think he's the one that's on the fence. He's not going to get in his first year, but he might get in a year where there's really just nobody on the ballot. Tim Lincecum, really good, but a really short time. Won a couple of World Series. Good for him. Not going to get in. I like Tim Lincecum. Not going to get in. Just not long enough. Just not long enough, unfortunately. And he'll get in Giants Hall of Fame, absolutely. Ryan Howard fell off a cliff real quick. Not enough time for me, but it was really good for about 5 years.
Yep.
Prince Fielder, same. Not enough for me. I mean, a lot of these guys, Jimmy Rollins, no. Jonathan Papelbon, I doubt it.
Carl Crawford,
no. Justin Moore, no. It's already in his name right there. No. Jake Peavy, no. I know he won a Cy Young. Like, the thing is for me, like, Joe Nathan's actually a really good relief pitcher, but it's just going to be hard for him to get in. And then AJ Brzezinski, no, not a chance. So as far as the rookies go, and again, it depends. You got two, for me, locks if we're just letting in these steroid guys, and one on the fence, and the rest of them I don't think would ever really get in. I mean, Tim Lincecum might get more votes in this first year on the ballot than I expect him to get, but ultimately I don't think it'll be enough. I think they still have to get 75% of the votes to get in, which I know doesn't sound that high, but it doesn't happen very often.
I think we're about to find out very quickly who's going to get, if steroids matter. You got Sammy Sosa, Curt Schilling, of course, that's another can of worms. Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds on their final chance for a ballot. I think baseball is going to completely undo this whole we care about steroid thing if these guys get in. I will be pissed if these guys get in. I might officially not watch baseball again. Like, officially never care about it again if they have played us for 10 years and these guys finally get in. There's no way in hell these guys get in. You just can't do it.
So I'm in the belief that Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire saved baseball. Now, you were very young at that point, and baseball was on the just coming out of a lockout where a lot of people just stopped caring about baseball. And this home run chase between Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire, and I think it was 1998, rejuvenated baseball, and that matters.
Mm.
I want to see these guys in the Hall of Fame, but at the same time, they should absolutely have the asterisk. They should have a separate hall. I mean, you know what would sell tickets to the Cooperstown, the Baseball Hall of Fame? Make a hall full of the steroid era. Put it down in a janitor's closet or somewhere.
Right. I can do that.
Make sure to share it. Like, hey, these guys. But you know what? I'll be damned if baseball didn't love every second of the fact that baseball was, rejuvenated by that. They collected every single paycheck, every single marketing dollar that they could until it was time to put these guys on trial and blacklist them. So I don't appreciate that. Put them in the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose too, and just put a. The situation with Curt Schilling, like, we're not going to put him in the Hall of Fame because we don't like what he talked, like his beliefs. Like, Curt Schilling didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, I want to know what has Curt Schilling done that he just can't be in?
His offensive comments on social media. He disrespected the president, Obama. He supported President Trump. So
who gives a crap?
Exactly. On the field, he was one of the best pitchers I had ever seen in a long time, and it's quite sad that he's not going to get in. Because they just, look how long it took Terrell Owens to get in just because they didn't like the way he treated. He didn't treat the media. That's the problem with the media voting these guys in. Like, look, give me your stats on the field. And like, for me, one of the biggest things for me is you say a name, and if I don't instantly say yes, you're not a Hall of Famer to me. And all four of these guys are. Now, again, these steroid situations, with Barry Bonds, like, there was never real definitive proof that he did what he did or that he did steroids. But at his age, to hit 73 home runs, it definitely seemed a little suspect. But
he literally, I've heard guys say an off season later he looked jacked. Come on, dude. That's definitive.
That's all it is. Hearsay. He never failed a drug test.
Come on.
He never failed a drug test.
Oh well, he got huge for no reason.
Well, he still had. Well, he still has the single season home run record. Like, those still exist. They didn't take those away.
Where did you get the asterisk part of the Hall idea from? Like, is that yours, or have you heard that before?
I've heard that they should blacklist them or put them in a section. I always said they should put them in the build the janitor's closet out to have a whole wing of these guys. I
can deal with that.
Sometimes you have to own up to situations. I mean, the Black Sox scandal's in the Hall of Fame. Now, those guys aren't in the Hall of Fame, but they talk about the Black Sox scandal. They talk about Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, even though they don't put him in the Hall of Fame. Like, why not? You have some black eyes. It's part of your history.
Yeah, and with the whole, I want to read you this quote from the Curt Schilling thing. This is just damning to me. I hate this crap. It says, some writers, where's it at? Okay, some voters went on record to explain that they removed Schilling from their ballots due to offensive comments he has made, not back then, in recent years. So, in other words, for years he was a Hall of Famer, but now he's not because Twitter? Come on.
Yeah.
Make any sense?
Pretty much. I mean,
imagine living in Georgia for a few years of your life. Good Lord.
Well, Schilling's got a chance here because last year he got 71% of the votes of the Hall of Fame vote last year. So there may be a couple guys that might throw him a bone here. if he gets that same 71% plus a couple extra voters, like he might sneak in. But he's also been on record saying he doesn't really want to even be involved in the Hall of Fame anymore because he knows he should be in. He actually asked to be removed from this ballot, although it doesn't. You just can't do it. They put you on the ballot. You're on the ballot for, I believe, 10 years. So, I don't know. To me, but it's crazy to just ignore like Sammy Sosa. He was one of the best, outfielders and one of the best power hitters of all time. But we really don't even talk about him anymore because he, from 93 to 2000 was incredible and then just fell right off a cliff. So
Can you imagine living with yourself knowing that you're a voter and you have that much say in life over these guys' careers?
well,
I wouldn't be able to do it.
Their careers and their money are done. I mean, they've
Well, if you're a Hall of Famer, Curt Schilling, that's a lot better on your resume.
Of course it is, but he has nothing left to prove. Like, if you're a baseball fan or a baseball purist, you are at this point in your life, you're either saying Curt Schilling's a Hall of Fame. I mean, we've been doing this for how many years with Pete Rose? Like, Pete Rose is a Hall of Famer. Whatever happened off the field, the betting scandal, yeah, that was pretty gross. But as far as Pete Rose, the baseball player, he's a Hall of Famer. For me, either all four of these guys get in or none of them get in.
Well, Curt Schilling you got to exclude him from the three guys, though.
All right, that's fair. Curt Schilling's a separate situation. But as far as these three, Bonds, Sosa, well, you know what? I don't even know if I believe that. I think Bonds could get in without the other two getting in.
Oh. I
mean, Bonds got 60% of the votes last year. I don't think he's going to get in, but I'm just saying, like, you guys are. This is what you're talking about. This is your last chance to get in. You're off the ballot. Forever we will never say Hall of Famer Barry Bonds if he doesn't get in this year. You hold that key. Now, I believe it's the onus is on baseball, and Rob Manfred doesn't do a lot of things right. The onus is on them to put them in, but also don't forget what they're connected to. And again, Barry Bonds, David Ortiz have never officially failed a drug test. The MLB would have that information if they failed a drug test. Because the reason we're not putting him in the Hall of Fame is because he failed a performance-enhancing drug test. They have never said that. The Mitchell report to me has been a cavalcade of lies. If they failed a drug test, put it out there. Never have and never will.
Because it might expose their sport as what it truly is, which is why I've said it is a fake sport.
I don't think it's a fake sport, but I mean,
you just can't. The KBO is more honest right now, in my opinion, because it's ridiculous.
But it's not all about the players. Like I said, the MLB sat back and was happy to collect every single dollar that these guys made by re-energizing their league. And now you want to throw them under the bus? Screw that, man.
You try so hard.
I almost said the F word.